NaturallyKenya here, and welcome back to my channel. In this video, as promised, I am giving you guys a part 2 of tips to help you save money in Rome. If you haven't already, make sure to check out part 1, which I will link right here. I will have new uploads for you guys on Sundays and Thursdays, so stay tuned. Let's get into the video. So let's discuss transportation. How do you save coins on your transportation in Rome? The first thing you want to do is make sure you take public transportation over taxi. For example, one ticket is €1.50, a day ticket is €7, 2 days is €12.50, and 3 days is €18. They also have weekly and monthly passes, with the week being €24 and the month being €35. Depending on how long you're actually staying in Rome, and like I recommended, I say at least 4 days, maybe you'll try that weekly pass for 7 days. And it's €24, so that breaks down to about $3.50 per day. It may definitely be a cheaper alternative than taking a taxi. For example, after 10 p.m., taxis actually have a starting rate of €6.50 in euros. Think about it. But the downside to this is that some public transportation is not reliable, and it can be pretty uncomfortable. There also are some pickpocketing scenarios that happen on board both the metro and the bus, so it kind of secludes you from all of that if you take a taxi. If you do come to Rome for a quick trip, I do suggest you stay along the metro lines and not necessarily rely on the buses. The metro is pretty reliable and will take you all around the city. Well, all around the city. It's a bit limited. I mean, Rome is an old city, guys. The metro network is not as extensive as a London, but it will take you in and out of the city. Another way you could save money is make sure you're very, very close walking distance to the metro, and then just take the metro into the city. I mean, there are stops at the Colosseum, for example. Anyway, back to public transportation. Even for day trips, public transportation and regional trains can actually be the best thing ever, especially for day trips to another city. If you really want to break it down and you start considering gas prices, toll road fees, car rental costs, you may realize that the train, if you're going to a major city, obviously that's well connected, is worth it. Now, in terms of the trains, the regional trains will take longer than the high-speed trains, for example, and that will actually allow you to cut your costs and save a few euros. But my favorite form of transportation in Rome is the one that you have, and those are your feet, to walk. It is my personal favorite choice because it's the only reliable means you have to get you from point A to point B on time. Plus, you get to truly experience the city center and take in all the sights, and just, it's a totally different thing than taking the metro, a bus, or a taxi. I'm sorry, but it just is. If you are new here, my name is Kenya. Yes, like the country. And I'm an American girl living abroad in Rome, Italy, documenting my life and sharing my authentic experiences with all of you. So if you haven't already, make sure to follow me on Instagram here. And don't forget to subscribe, hit that notification bell so you get notified every time I upload, and hit that thumbs up if any of these tips actually help you. I wanted to also briefly discuss getting to the city center from one of the major airports, and that is Fiumicino. Most of the time, this is a major airport that many travelers actually arrive to on their first trip to Rome, AKA FCO. Depending on the size of your group, you will have a few different options on how to get to the city center, whether it's the airport bus, the train, or a taxi. Now, I really feel like this depends on your group size again, so you're gonna have to try to crunch the numbers. But if you really wanna save coins, there is a bus, and it's called the TerraVision bus, that takes you from Fiumicino into the city center. Now, the price is set currently at €10, and it could take you up to 1 hour to go from Fiumicino down to the city center. Now, my personal choice is to spend 4 more euros, so you're able to take the Leonardo Express rapid train from Fiumicino Airport into Roma Termini Station in the city center. So essentially on this train, round trip will cost you 28 euros, but it only takes you 32 minutes, and it's guaranteed to take you 32 minutes. Whereas if you take the TerraVision bus, it could take you much, much longer depending on the traffic conditions. Also from Ciampino, the other airport, it's cheaper because the distance is usually shorter into the city center. So there are fixed fares from the airport, AKA Fiumicino and Ciampino, but I want to focus on just Fiumicino, FCO. and it could take you between 40 and 60 minutes to come into the city center. Authorized taxis are white with a taxi sign on the roof, and they have license numbers on the doors, the back, and inside of the vehicle. Guys, they're white with a taxi sign on the roof, because I know it is so overwhelming when you get to Rome after a 15-hour flight, 2 stops, you get outside the door and there are people harassing you to take their form of transportation. No, guys, don't do it, because sometimes they are known to scam and charge you up to who knows how much. And although this is technically legal, I guess, they could charge you absurd amounts of money. Usually these are black vans that are usually registered. Some of these drivers actually use Uber. There is Uber in the city, by the way, it's Uber Black. But usually the taxi is a much cheaper option. So there is a fixed fee to come into the city center. Last I checked, it was 48 euros in the taxi. And that price is inside of the old Aurelian walls in the city center. This option makes more sense for people that are in a group of maybe 3 or more people, or you have a lot of luggage. Like I came here with 3 suitcases. Then you want to take the taxi. I mean, there's really no other choice. But the taxi, not necessarily the black van, guys. The taxi, okay? If you don't have much luggage, it's probably best to just take the train. If you're in a group of 2, take the train. It's easier and faster. Another way you can save money is actually if you get an apartment or a bed and breakfast, a B&B, versus a hotel. Now, depending on the length of your stay, it does give you the option to cook at home, so you can save more money that way. I don't know how you guys feel, but after about 3 days on vacation and eating and drinking out every single day, I personally start to feel disgusting on the inside. So I actually like to have the option of having a meal that I can make myself and the kitchen facilities to do that. Now, depending on your connection with the metro line, I personally wouldn't rely on the tram or bus schedule outside of the apartment. You for sure can find a place. I mean, to be honest, accommodation will probably be your largest expense while you're staying in Rome. So you could definitely stay along the Red Line in San Giovanni, or really even Prati to save a bit of money and just take the metro into the city. Also support small businesses and stay in B&Bs to help out some of these Italian families as well during this time. So let's move on to sightseeing. I remember coming to Rome and spending so much money on skip the line tickets. And I was a student back then. Oh, I was stretching that euro. I was stretching the euro hard. But a lot of these sites add up whenever you come to Rome. You could easily spend over 100 euros just on entrance tickets alone. But think of it like this. You can try to balance some of the paid entrances with museum entrances that can be free, as well as wonderful churches that are around the city that are completely at your disposal. So kind of rotate your paid entrances with some of these free monuments as well. And honestly, Rome itself is a museum, so you're not missing out. Think about it, the Pantheon, the Spanish Steps, the Trevi Fountain, and all of the piazzas are free. Free spaces for you to enjoy your wonderful trip to Rome. There's also this Rome Free Sunday as well, which allows everyone to visit some of the most historic sites and monuments in Rome for free on the first Sunday of the month. This is actually for all of Italy, not just Rome, in case you guys didn't know. The line may be long, as there is a first come, first served basis to enter in some of these monuments, but just know that there are really wonderful sites that are included in this, like the Colosseum, the Roman Forum, Castel Sant'Angelo, and more. The list goes on and on. Now, this does not include the Vatican museums, as the Vatican is a separate state away from Italy. Also, not to mention that they are usually closed on Sundays, but apparently they're open for free on every last Sunday of the month, so you have that. I'll try to link a few websites in the description below that you guys can check out if you're wondering which museums and monuments are on this list. Now, there are some discounts depending on your age or if you're studying in a certain faculty at the school. I know that if you're studying like art and architecture, sometimes the entrances are free. So just consider that as well. It also may make sense to pick up this tourist card or Roma Pass with reduced prices to some of the main sites and attractions in Rome. It also allows you to use public transportation as well for free during that period. There's also another card called the Omnia card as well, and I'll link that below. So guys, that is all for this video. If you haven't checked out part 1, I will link it here for you. And if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe, hit that notification bell so you get notified every time I upload, and like this video if any of these tips actually help you. That is all for this video. I will see you guys in new uploads on Sundays and Thursdays. Stay tuned. Ciao, y'all.